If you're looking for a career selling on Amazon or working at an Amazon agency, this video is for you. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the CEO and founder of My Amazon Guy. I have created over 500 jobs at My Amazon Guy, and this is an agency that helps support brands sell their products on Amazon. A lot of the jobs that we hire for are like brand management, marketing and public relations, sales, creative. So if you're a graphic designer, PPC. So if you like working in Excel sheets and bulk sheets, that's a great job for an analytical person. If you like technology and you're tech savvy, we love hiring tech savvy people. Or if you're more of a customer service sort of person who likes working with people, very, very different variety mix of jobs that you see here. I primarily hire in the United States, Mexico, and the Philippines. And you'll see a bunch of other countries on the map here that I have hired in, kind of some onesie twosies in some random countries across the world. But our brand management is primarily on the North American continent. Most of our support staff is over in the Philippines. So if your English is not like the most elegant, don't worry. You can still get a job at MAG, but you won't be customer facing. You'll be in an analytical job or a delivery behind the scenes job. And there are certain roles that works for and others that it doesn't, and that's fine. A lot of the things that you may find valuable for why you might want to apply to work at My Amazon Guy, we have one of the strongest internship programs on the entire internet as it relates to learning how to work remotely, learning how to work on Amazon, and learning how to work at an agency. So you'll see we even have internships towards the top of our career page list. And that is because we hire a lot of interns. So here's a video of when we had our first PH Summit, might have been our second one here. I'm not sure which of the two. And we have a third one coming up in June of 2025. We're actually calling this the Fitness Summit with a PH. And to get your ticket to this summit, you have to complete your health goal by the deadline. I think the deadline's in the middle of May, going to the June summit. And so we've got, a fun little picture of interns here. Do those guys look like interns? They kind of look like interns. And we train people with zero knowledge in these fields, and then we turn them into powerhouses. I have created thousands and thousands of careers by making these internship jobs, because then you learn everything in a very short time period. Most people will choose to stay at MAG. Some will just say, you know what, it's not for me. Or some will take their skills and go somewhere else. And that's a win-win for the whole industry. I think that there are 50,000 jobs that we need to fill in the Amazon selling community space. And the only way to do that is to make new people learn the skills, which is why I'm such a big proponent of internships. There's a lot of reasons why I do a lot of teaching and education. It's part of my model. So I like to joke that I run an education company that happens to be an agency. So I used to be a chess teacher for 15 years. That's how I made all of my income from age 12 all the way up to like 21. And loved playing chess, played in the US Open. I taught in over 50 elementary schools in the state of Utah, in Midwest of the United States, Mountain West, and just really loved what I enjoyed doing, which was leveling people up. Right? It's part of my motto, is leveling people up to accelerate prosperity to the world. And then I became a TV reporter, and that industry sucks. I don't recommend that industry at all to anybody. Maybe my enemies, but that's about it. And I loved being a TV reporter, but I hated working in the news industry, and they don't pay well. They treat you like trash. And I didn't have a good experience, but I learned how to ask questions from that job. There's obviously a lot of silver lining and benefits to doing that. And I was able to learn how to communicate, articulate. This entire video is ad lib. There's no script, right? I just have kind of a vision or a theme of what I want to talk about. I go make content and then publish it. I don't edit it really at all. And that's really been the theme of most of my 2,000 videos that I've posted on YouTube. Some of you have watched some of that content and it's helped you in your current job. And then you're like, man, this has helped me more than my boss has helped me. I'd rather work at a company that supports me. Well, in a company like my Amazon guy, we got 500 employees all helping each other and building a Slack community. And we have SOPs and we have all of these instructions and guidelines and videos. We actually sell our SOPs, which is not necessarily a selling point to somebody looking for a job, but it is an indirectly, because if our SOPs are so good we can sell them, that means our training is that good. And if you want to go and work somewhere where you're going to get good training, that's going to accelerate your career. It makes you more valuable because you have more knowledge, you have more access, you have more relationships, and you have more reps, right? So I'll put the mic down for a second. And if we're going to talk about reps and talk about, what it could do, if we're looking at muscles, right? So to build this muscle, you have to do reps. And if you don't do reps, the muscle is not going to get bigger. And you have to continually build that muscle. Otherwise, it gets atrophy and it shrinks. So when you work at an agency, you get lots of reps. There's just so much stuff to get done. It's never ending. That's not a great job for everybody. Certain personalities do not like the chaos that an agency ensues. So we do give out a culture index survey to figure out if you're one of the personalities that we find work better in certain environments. And each role, we find that certain personalities perform better or worse. And that doesn't mean you can't do the job. It just means you may not enjoy the job or stick around for the job versus somebody who is natural at the job. But we give you that opportunity to test that out and build that out. We have a very strong leadership team. And I'm the founder. We've built out all of these vision-esque items. And I hired Ken Zhu, COO out of Canada. We've got tech teams, and Francisco's over in Mexico, and Roxanne and Jan are over in the Philippines, and Stephen, Noah, and Kevin are in the United States. And that's our primarily the top of our org chart, and a bunch of brand directors in the United States, Mexico, and increasingly around the world. I think Jace over in Canada as well. This is where it all started. So if you want to see like the full history of My Amazon Guy, go to myamazonguy.com/history, and you can see it was built out of my basement. I hired church people to get going. I didn't even know what a VA was 7 years ago. And then now we got 400 people over in the Philippines. And so anytime I was trying to figure out like, what could I do to create as many jobs as possible? How do we go as fast as possible? How do we build this thing? That was what was driving me. And I was trying to figure out how to help as many people as possible, how to help as many Amazon brands be the most seller-centric company in the world, how to help as many people get jobs, how to create as many jobs as we possibly can. And that's been a really great thing for me. I'm going to go over to the core values page next. This is our myamazonguy.com/core. These are company values or core values. So on the left are the core values, on the right are the manager values. You have to have the values on the left to get into the company. So if you don't like these, don't apply. On the right are the manager values. You can work for us if you don't possess these, but you can't be a manager without them. So we won't give you any direct reports if you don't represent the manager values. So first, core values, learning and teaching. That's basically your education elements. And you need to know how to learn. You need to know how to teach, because if you don't, then our intern model doesn't work. Our education model doesn't work. And you're gonna be stagnant. You're gonna get atrophy. It's not gonna be a great fit. Eagerness. This is about just a keenness to act. I really like the word keenness. And bias for fresh action. In an agency, it's all chaos. You need to act as much as possible. Consistent communications. I do have like a little Borg emoji here from Star Trek. And that is because you have to be ready to talk a lot. And that's mostly texting, like Slack posts and stuff. But there's just a lot of info and it's like flying everywhere. And you can't keep up if you don't communicate. So that's why we have consistent communications as a core value. So that's multiple times a day, passing information back and forth. Tech savvy. This is the one that actually rules the most people out to get into the company. We see a deficit in the industry. Typing 55 words per minute. Like this metric right here alone will knock out half of the applicants. People don't take typing courses. They haven't learned how to type correctly. So this is something that can really hurt. Excel, surprisingly, is needed in almost every role at the company. Sales might be one exception, customer service might be another. But if you know how to use Excel or Google Sheets, you're going to do really well at MAG. We're on a Google property. We use Google Drive. We got a Google emoji here, Gmail, etc., Slack, and knowing how to use Slack threads. This is a very common mistake. Very easy to correct this particular one, but just how you organize information is a tech savvy skill. All right, so those are all the core values, and again, the hardest one, tech savvy for sure. Manager values, these are how we want people to be managed at the company. So multiply yourself. This is a leadership trait. 1 + 1 = 3. And if you can replace yourself, that's how we scale the company, right? So I have a high churn model. I have a lot of people coming and going, and that's agency land. That's like all agencies ever. But in my instance, the way I solve for that is everybody at the company replaces themselves constantly, and they level up and they promote. That allows you to get as much experience as fast as possible, but it protects the company so that if, we won't be held hostage by any particular person. It creates a culture of never-ending multiplicity. Soft on the people, no assholes, obviously. We want to be tough on the issues, but not tough on the people. And so that's where soft on the people comes from. Compete. We want to crush our competitors, right? A little strong language on purpose. And we play to win. And so this is the newest manager value. And it's because I'm trying to make sure we never become complicit. And when our brands that hire us, they want us to go out and crush their competitors, right? So that's where that compete value makes a lot of sense. Extreme ownership, probably the weakest manager value at most companies, and one that I always hit on at MAG. And this is about accountability. This is about prioritizing, then executing, and maintaining discipline. But it's often very difficult to do this, right? So if we go in there and there's a problem, and I ask what happened, I want the leader to fall on the sword immediately and say, it's my fault. Here's what happened. And the second people start blaming each other, I lose my faith in the system. And I think that you have to look internally before you look externally, and that's where extreme ownership comes from. Radical candor, however, is very much a counterbalance to avoiding challenges. So having very fast feedback, telling direct reports where they stand every single day, tell it like how it is. I have the Spock symbol here, another Star Trek reference, not on purpose. I have 2 Star Trek references, but it's topical. And my personality is very Spock-like in the sense that I don't hold back, but there's a soft on the people way to do it, right? Like I'll always tell you where you stand, but I'm not going to be a dick about it. And you can do this effectively. And if you do this effectively, and there's a book on every one of these manager values. There's a book about extreme ownership. There's a book about radical candor. If you do these things, you will find a highly successful organization, right? So as the founder, I'm the sole owner. I made this company 7 years ago, and I was able to build something that produces, $20 million a year in revenue with high margins. And that's because of what you see on the screen here. These values created a system that attracts the right people to solve the right problem and make money while doing so. And so that's what really translates effectively into the organization of My Amazon Guy. So if this resonates with you, go to myamazonguy.com/jobs. You can apply, and there's instructions on how to do all these applications. It's a little bit of a commitment if you want to get in. Over 200,000 people have applied at My Amazon Guy. That's quite a few applications. We have a lot of ways we roll people out. But if you're somebody that we select for an interview, we really want to talk to you. And that should be a sign that you should do a lot of research, take it seriously. We don't invite very many people for interviews because we're very selective of what we're looking for. But if these values represent what you're looking for, there's a pretty strong chance you're going to be a good fit. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. You can also email your resume over to jobs@myamazonguy.com. But we hope you put an application in, and thanks for watching.